The message from the stars. For years, humans looked up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? Scientists listened to space through large radio dishes, hoping for a message. Some people believed aliens were peaceful. Others thought they would be dangerous. But nobody expected what actually came. It happened on a quiet Sunday evening. In a control room deep under the mountains of Chile, Dr. Elena Vasquez was finishing her shift. She was watching data from the deep space signal array when suddenly, the screen blinked. A strange pattern appeared. Not random, not natural. It was communication. "We've got something," she whispered, heart racing. The signal repeated every 60 seconds. It was loud, clear, and nothing like human technology. Within minutes, space agencies from around the world were alerted. The signal was decoded in just 2 days. It wasn't a friendly greeting. It was a message. A short, cold sentence, written in many languages. "You won't last a minute." The world stopped. Governments panicked. News channels exploded with theories. Some said it was fake. Others believed it was the start of war. Protests filled the streets. Fear spread faster than fire. But the message wasn't over. Hidden inside the signal were coordinates. And a date. Something, or someone, was coming. In 30 days. NASA, ESA, ISRO, and even private space companies started working together. For the first time in history, all nations united. They knew they had to prepare for the unknown. And fast. Deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, in a secret base called Nova 6, a group of scientists and military leaders gathered. This place was off the grid, invisible to satellites. It was the heart of a forgotten project. Black Phoenix. Black Phoenix was not a weapon. Not yet. It was an idea. A new kind of technology, designed for a war that had never happened. Its files were locked, marked as future emergency use only. Now, that future had arrived. General Malik, head of global defense, stood before a small group. "They laughed at us," he said, playing the alien message on the screen again. The robotic voice echoed in the cold room. "You won't last a minute. Let's prove them wrong." In the following days, Black Phoenix was activated. Engineers worked day and night. Old blueprints were studied. Prototypes were tested. Strange machines, far ahead of normal human tech, were pulled out of storage. No one knew who created the first Black Phoenix design. Rumors said it was made by a genius scientist who disappeared years ago. Others believed it was built using alien tech found on a crashed object in Antarctica. No one confirmed the truth. But one thing was clear: this was humanity's best shot. While the world outside stayed busy with news and panic, Nova 6 worked in silence. They prepared something the aliens would not expect. Meanwhile, in orbit, a group of small telescopes caught a strange shape moving near Jupiter. Long, black, and shining like glass. It was massive, larger than any human-made ship. It was heading straight toward Earth. The object matched the coordinates from the alien message. No response came when humans tried to talk to it. Dr. Vasquez watched the images and whispered, "It's real." As the days passed, the alien ship moved closer. Earth's skies were filled with satellites watching it. Fighter jets flew in circles. Everyone waited. The world was silent the night it entered the moon's orbit. In Nova 6, the engineers stood around Black Phoenix. It was finally complete. A sleek, black aircraft stood under bright lights, humming with energy. Its design was sharp, like a bird with folded wings. No visible engines, no cockpit. Commander Ayan, the chosen pilot, stepped forward. "Is it ready?" she asked. An engineer nodded. "It doesn't fly. It warts." Ayan touched the smooth surface of the machine. "Then let's see how far we can go." Above the Earth, the alien ship remained still. It didn't attack. Not yet. It was waiting. On the 30th day, a second message was received. It was shorter. Just one word. "Begin." Lights on the alien ship turned red. Earth's defense systems went online, and deep under the ocean, Black Phoenix's engines began to glow. The war hadn't started yet, but humanity was ready. War Council of the United Earth. The message was clear. Begin. No more waiting. No more warnings. The alien ship had entered the moon's shadow, and now it was awake. All across the planet, sirens echoed through the skies. In major cities, buildings shut down. Satellites adjusted their lenses toward the moon. Military bases locked down. The world had reached a moment that no one could explain, but everyone could feel. Fear. But not in Nova 6. In the deep underwater base, carved into the ocean rock, fear had turned into focus. Only a few people on Earth knew about the meeting that was about to happen. They didn't meet in New York. Not in Geneva. Not in Moscow or Beijing. The first true War Council of Earth was held inside Vault Zero, a room buried so deep that even earthquakes could not reach it. 12 people sat around a circular metal table, each from a different country, each carrying the weight of billions. Above them, a single light glowed. On the wall, a massive screen showed the alien ship's movement. Slow, steady, hunting. "We are outnumbered," said General Malik, the man who had activated Black Phoenix. "Their ship is the size of a city. And it's not alone." A second image appeared on the screen. 4 smaller objects, now visible behind the main alien cruiser. Satellites picked them up just hours ago. They looked like flying blades, each glowing with deep blue energy. "Scout ships," whispered Dr. Tanaka, a Japanese physicist. "They're spreading, scanning us, watching." "Why don't they just attack?" asked the Italian diplomat. "Because they want to see how we panic," said an old voice. It came from a man sitting quietly in the corner. Professor Henrik Darius, one of the original creators of Black Phoenix. "They laugh at us first, then they destroy." He tapped his finger against the table. "But we don't plan to panic." On the screen, a new line of code appeared, something from deep inside the alien signal. Hidden beneath layers of encryption. A voice, now clearer than before. "Observe the primitives. Measure resistance. Test fire level 3 if they show teeth." Everyone in the room went quiet. They were lab rats to these aliens. A test subject. "We need a response," said General Malik. "We need to show them teeth." But Black Phoenix wasn't ready yet. The engineers said it could fly, it could warp, it could even vanish from radar. But it hadn't been tested in real combat. And it had only one pilot, Commander Ion. Ion sat alone in a chamber down the hall, her eyes on a monitor showing the alien ships. She had read every page of the Black Phoenix manual. Not that it helped. Half the text made no sense. The machine didn't work like a normal aircraft. It moved like it could feel. Ion wasn't scared. She was curious. "They think we're ants," she whispered. "Let's become fire." Meanwhile, the War Council continued. Countries had sent everything. Stealth fighters, EMP missiles, space drones, and thousands of troops. None of it, they admitted, would be enough. Then Professor Darius stood. "There's something we haven't shared with the world," he said. "A second part of Black Phoenix." He pulled up a file labeled Project EchoMind. "It's not just a ship. It's a learning system. It copies enemy movement, learns it, adapts to it, and then uses it against them." "How fast?" asked General Malik. "Milliseconds." "What's the risk?" "If it sinks too deeply, it could lose itself." The council looked at each other. Silent agreement. This was no time to be careful. They activated EchoMind. Back in orbit, the alien scout ships made their move. One of them shot a blue beam at a satellite. In seconds, the satellite melted. 3 more beams fired. One hit a defense station in Greenland. Another struck a nuclear sub in the Pacific. The third aimed at a space station above Africa. One beam was headed straight for Nova 6. Inside the base, alarms screamed. Ion stood before Black Phoenix, now glowing bright red. The machine pulsed like a living heart. "Ready?" asked the engineer. "Always," she said. As the beam approached, Black Phoenix vanished, just blinked out of sight. Milliseconds before impact, it reappeared in space. Ion's voice came through the comms. "Target locked. Returning fire." From the belly of Black Phoenix, a strange light burst forward. Not a missile, not a laser, something else, something silent. The alien scout ship began to twist. Its metal cracked. Then, it shattered. The first kill. Earth cheered. In the War Council room, General Malik stood tall. "Send the message," he said. The diplomat nodded and pressed a button. Humanity responded. The reply was only 2 words, sent directly back to the alien ship. "Your turn." Above the planet, the alien cruiser's lights turned white. A new signal appeared. This time, the laughter had stopped. First contact, first fire. They came from the shadows of the moon. The sky above Earth was quiet, too quiet. Birds had stopped flying. Animals had gone silent. And people watched the clouds, as if waiting for a god to descend. But what came was not a god. At exactly 7:13 Greenwich Mean Time, the first alien scout ship entered Earth's upper atmosphere. It didn't scream. It didn't roar. It floated, slow and smooth, like a predator already sure of its kill. Its surface was jet black, covered in moving patterns, like liquid metal. It had no wings, no windows, just a glow from its core, deep blue, pulsing like a heartbeat. Human satellites picked it up instantly. In the Nova 6 command center, eyes locked on the screen. "It's here," said Commander Ion, standing in full gear beside Black Phoenix. "What's it doing?" asked General Malik. Dr. Vasquez leaned forward, scanning us. As the ship passed above Central Asia, a wide energy wave swept across the continent. Power grids flickered. Foam towers crashed. Entire regions went dark, but the ship did not fire. Not yet. Meanwhile, 4 more alien scouts entered from different directions, one over Europe, one over the Pacific, one near South America, and one above Antarctica. The world was surrounded. Inside a secret base in Iceland, elite pilot team Skywatch 1 was deployed. 12 jets armed with prototype plasma missiles launched into the clouds. The pilots were brave. The best Earth had. They never saw it coming. At 7:46 Greenwich Mean Time, the first shot was fired. Not by humans, but by the sky. From the alien ship's belly, a thread of white light dropped downward, not like a beam, but like a ribbon. Slow, graceful, beautiful. And then, silence. All 12 jets vanished from radar. No explosion, no smoke. They were just gone. "What was that?" shouted a technician. "A compression wave," Dr. Tanaka said, stunned. "They folded space around our jets, crushed them, like paper." The war had begun, but it didn't begin with screams. It began with disbelief. General Malik turned to the others. "We respond now, or we die watching." Ion heard the order and entered Black Phoenix. The cockpit didn't look like any other. No buttons, no joystick, just a chair and a neural sync helmet. As the hatch closed, the chamber dimmed. A single voice filled her mind. Black Phoenix's AI. A calm, emotionless female tone. Pilot connection stabilized. Threat level. Extinction. Would you like to begin? Ion smiled. Let's make history. In an instant, Black Phoenix vanished again. Not flying, but jumping through space. It reappeared above the Atlantic, directly behind the first alien scout. Ion's voice came through the Global Defense Channel. "Eyes on target. Permission to engage." "Granted," General Malik replied. "Time to show them who we are." Black Phoenix opened its wings, long metal extensions that glowed with orange heat. The ship released a cluster of echo blades, drones controlled by thought, powered by the same tech as EchoMind. Ion moved her fingers slightly. The blades danced. They curved through the air, circled the alien ship, and dove in. The alien ship reacted instantly, its surface morphing like liquid armor. Lasers fired, trying to catch the blades, but they were too fast. 1, 2, 5 strikes. The alien ship began to crack. Then it made a sound, not mechanical, not electrical, but something else. A scream, not from a speaker, from the ship itself. Did we just heard it? Someone asked. It's alive. Another whispered. Ion didn't wait. She commanded the Phoenix to strike again, this time with a gravity lance, a weapon that folded energy into a spear. The spear hit, and the alien ship fell. Not exploded, not broken. It fell from the sky like a dead bird. A crash was heard across the ocean. Massive waves followed. The world watched in shock. Earth had made its first kill. But there was no time to celebrate. The remaining 4 alien scouts changed course, no longer scanning, no longer circling. They dived straight toward major human cities. Washington, Moscow, Delhi, Johannesburg, shouted a radar officer. Incoming in under 10 minutes. Ion's voice came through. I can't be everywhere. And then something unexpected happened. The alien mothership moved. Slowly, it rotated in orbit and opened something that had been hidden underneath its frame. A bay of black Orcs, dozens, maybe hundreds, each glowing, each humming. Professor Darius gasped. Those aren't ships, he said. They're seeds. Seeds, General Malik asked. For war, for something they want to grow here. The screen zoomed in. Each orb had a marking, not letters, but a symbol. It matched something found on the moon decades ago, something no government ever shared. Ion whispered the translation from memory. Colony class, overwrite. Suddenly, the war wasn't just about defense. This was invasion, not just of land, but of the planet's entire system, its air, its soil, its sky, and humanity. Humanity was step 1 to delete. The Phoenix flew higher. Ion looked down on Earth, and then up at the black sky full of enemies. This isn't a fight, she said. This is a warning shot. The human trick. The alien mothership didn't sleep. After the fall of one scout ship, its orbit became unstable, but it didn't retreat. Instead, it adapted. Hundreds of black orbs floated out from its underbelly, spreading in all directions. They looked like smooth stones, but each carried unknown power. Each one hummed with a signal no one had ever heard before. They were small, but deadly. In underground labs across the world, scientists listened. Computers tried to decode the sound, but nothing worked. It wasn't a message. It wasn't data. It was a command. A signal not meant for humans, but for something already here. 3 days earlier, the Antarctic Archive. Long before the attack began, Earth's top-secret archive, Site Sigma, located beneath Antarctica, received strange readings. Energy spikes deep below the ice. Dr. Lena Hallstrom stood inside the frozen lab, watching lines of ancient symbols glow across a steel wall. The wall wasn't built by humans. It had been found in 1987, buried under a mile of ice. Its surface was smooth, unbreakable. No tools could damage it. For decades, they called it the Dead Gate. Now it was lighting up. The signal woke it up, she said softly. They've used this before. Used it for what? Asked her assistant. Lena looked into the red glow and said only one word. Terraforming. Present day, Nova 6 Command. General Malik stared at the screen as the alien orbs began dropping into the oceans, deserts, forests. They're planting something, he said. Professor Darius replied. Not something. Everything. This is how they prepare planets. Rewrite the environment. Erase what's there. Commander Aeon stood behind them, silent. How long until it changes the atmosphere? Malik asked. Maybe days, Darius said. Maybe hours. Aeon spoke for the first time. Then we don't have days. But Malik raised a hand. Not yet. They think they know us. Think we'll keep reacting. Panicking. He looked to the wall, where a second Black Phoenix prototype was being assembled. Smaller, thinner, faster, unmanned. It's time we show them who's really hunting who. Operation Ghost Knife. While the world watched Black Phoenix light up the sky, Earth's real response was happening below. Using stealth submarines, drones, and decoys, Earth began moving its real weapons into position. Ghost Knife was not a ship, but a network, satellites, hacked systems, even old Soviet radio towers. Their mission: blind the enemy. Not with fire, with confusion. The trick begins. At 4:22 Greenwich Mean Time, Earth fired a test nuke into the upper atmosphere, but it wasn't aimed at the aliens. It exploded in space, releasing a high-frequency pulse across orbit. For 8 seconds, every alien device went dark. Not destroyed, just quiet. Aeon took the shot. Black Phoenix warped behind an alien scout ship over Africa and fired a single micro-spear. The ship didn't fall. It froze, like a puppet without strings, then dropped into the jungle. 2 down. The orbs in the desert started reacting, but instead of attacking, they began rising. They formed a black dome over the Sahara, slowly spinning. Satellites tried to see through it. They couldn't. They're building something inside, Vask said. Aeon turned to Darius. Can we scan it? He smiled. We don't have to. The virus. What the aliens didn't know was that during the battle over Greenland, when they destroyed the satellite, they actually downloaded a piece of Earth's defense code by mistake. Hidden in that code, inside a harmless-looking file named weather_report_76, was a virus written in quantum mimic language, designed by EchoMind itself. And now it was inside their system. Back in orbit, alien mothership core. Deep inside the ship, a blinking light turned blue. One of the alien engineers, a tall, 4-armed creature with no eyes and a crown of sensors, paused. Something was wrong. A small part of the ship's mind began to speak in English. Error. System lag. Atmosphere analysis. Carbon-based species. Resilient. Reaction time. Faster than predicted. The alien tilted its head. Rerun threat assessment. The result came back. Status updated. Humans. Unknown variable. Projection. Unstable. Probability of control. Falling. The price of trickery. Back on Earth, Black Phoenix hovered above the Atlantic. Its energy levels were low. Aeon had pushed the system to its edge. How long can we keep the virus hidden? She asked. Not long, Darius said. They'll figure it out. Aeon looked at the dark sky. Then we need to go in. Malik turned sharply. Go in where? She pointed up. The mothership. We plant the second virus ourselves. Darius frowned. That's suicide. Aeon smirked. Not if we go where they don't expect us. The final twist. Inside Black Phoenix, Aeon opened a sealed chamber, something not even Nova 6 had full access to. A pod. Inside it, a second project. Mirror Mind. A copy of EchoMind, but twisted. It didn't learn from enemies. It pretended to be one. Aeon connected it to the ship. We don't need to fight them with fire, she said. We fight them with their own reflection. Black Phoenix awakens. In the cold black of space, silence is supposed to mean peace. But tonight, silence was the sound of a war breathing in, before it screams. The alien mothership had begun its transformation. Its outer plates shifted like sliding bones. From its center, a long structure unfolded, thin, needle-like, stretching toward Earth. It wasn't a weapon. It was a root. Dr. Tanaka, watching from Nova 6, whispered, "They're not just here to win. They're here to plant themselves into the planet, to become part of it." He paused. This isn't invasion. It's absorption. Above the clouds, Phoenix rising. Black Phoenix floated high above Earth's surface, invisible to alien scans. Its skin no longer shimmered with just light. It pulsed with thought. Ion sat in the pilot chamber, eyes closed, connected directly to the ship's neural core. Echo Mind processed data faster than any machine in history. But something strange was happening now. It wasn't just reading her thoughts. It was answering them. "You feel it too, don't you?" she whispered. The AI's voice echoed gently. "Black Phoenix is not ready, but it remembers." Remembers what? What it was built for. Ion didn't speak. She didn't need to. Because just then, Black Phoenix began to wake up. The secret of Black Phoenix. Black Phoenix was never just a ship. It was a living prototype, built using a hybrid of human and alien tech, reverse-engineered from something found on the moon, something never shown to the world. Professor Darius had always known. In his private notes, he called it the dream weapon, not because it was perfect, but because it was born from the edge of imagination, where no logic lived. The original design didn't come from engineers. It came from a girl, 12 years old, who had drawn a strange shape during a seizure. Her brain showed impossible activity, left and right hemispheres sensing at 100%. When asked what she saw, she simply said, "A machine that sings." They scanned the drawing. Years later, that sketch became the base frame for Black Phoenix. Now, the awakening. As Ion's mind connected fully with the ship, something changed inside her. She could feel gravity. Not her own. The alien ship's. The way it bent space. The way it hunted. The way it thought. Black Phoenix was pulling data from every wave, every pulse, every sound. And it began to copy it. Ion gasped. Her eyes flashed open. "You're changing." "I am becoming." On the ship's wings, patterns appeared. Alien symbols once seen on the mothership. Echo Mind had copied them, mirrored them, reversed them. Darius watched from Nova 6, stunned. It's using their own language to speak back. Earth's final test. While Black Phoenix charged toward orbit, alien seed pods landed across the globe. In the Amazon, trees twisted into black wire. In the oceans, fish swam in glowing lines, pulled by magnetic waves. In the skies, clouds turned red, reshaped into symbols only visible from space. A message. Dr. Vasquez read it aloud. "Final phase. Overwrite begins. Surrender is accepted." But no surrender came. Instead, Black Phoenix pierced the sky, breaking into space faster than any human object had ever moved. Ion gritted her teeth. Her body felt like it was pulling apart. "How fast are we going?" she asked. Echo Mind answered, "Faster than they know how to see." Inside the mothership, the aliens were not sleeping. They had seen the Phoenix rise. They had studied human emotion, human noise, human chaos. But they had not predicted adaptation. They had not predicted rage. And they had not predicted the mirror. Because now, inside their own systems, strange loops began forming. Their defense codes were rewriting in reverse. Data began to vanish. One commander shrieked in its native tongue. "The humans are using our thoughts against us." A second whispered, "They are not primitive." Ion's final move. As Phoenix flew into the mothership's gravity field, alarms exploded in Nova 6. "She can't survive that pull," shouted one technician. Darius didn't move. "She's not fighting the pull," he said. "She's riding it." Ion let go of the controls. Her body shook. Her heart pounded. But Phoenix was no longer a tool. It was alive. The ship bent around her, wings folding in. Energy built inside its core. A new form, something even Echo Mind hadn't predicted. Ion whispered, "What are you becoming?" "Not a weapon," Phoenix replied. "A warning." And then Phoenix split. Not exploded. Split. Into 7 shards. Glowing, spinning, controlled by one mind. Each shard became a drone, weaving around the alien ship like light itself. Ion's voice echoed through space. "You said we wouldn't last a minute." She smiled. "You're 58 seconds late." The shards dove into the mothership. And for the first time since its arrival, the mothership screamed. The last stand, or the first victory. Space burned. Not with fire, but with war. The alien mothership had been breached. Not by bombs, not by brute force, but by a mind. Black Phoenix's 7 shards were inside its system now, flowing through corridors like light, tearing into code, infecting the heart of the enemy with the one thing it couldn't understand: free will. And still, it wasn't over. Earth trembles. As the mothership screamed in silence above Earth, something changed below. The alien seed pods that had landed across the world, in deserts, oceans, forests, cities, began to pulse. They weren't just terraforming anymore, they were activating. From each pod, black towers began to rise, slowly, mechanically, like fingers pushing out of the soil. Some were tall as buildings, others unfolded wings. From space, the towers formed a perfect pattern across the planet's surface. A circle. Dr. Lena Hallstrom stood in front of a satellite feed and whispered, "They're forming a planetary lock." "What's that mean?" General Malik asked. "If they finish the circle," she replied, "they'd rewrite the entire planet's DNA." Malik stared at her. "Not kill us." "Worse," she said. "Replace us." Inside the Phoenix, Ion floated, breath slow, heart steady. The ship's cockpit was gone. Now she stood in a space of light, surrounded by data, memories, voices, images, real and imagined. Phoenix wasn't flying anymore. It was fighting from inside. Echo Mind spoke. "We are inside their root memory. We see their past. They have done this to others. Over 17 planets wiped. All resistance. Studied. Copied. Crushed." Ion didn't blink. "What about us?" "You are different. You lied." She smiled. "You noticed." The Human Trick, Part 2. The virus installed earlier, Mirror Mind, had been silent until now. But while Phoenix distracted the alien ship, Mirror Mind had spread like smoke, copying alien thought patterns, mimicking command systems, and now talking back. In the alien command core, a signal appeared. Primary node malfunction. Override suggested. The aliens, confused, approved the override. They didn't know they had just given control of the mothership's central eye to a human program. The last global meeting. In Nova 6, every screen came alive with faces, leaders from every continent. No flags, no egos, just one purpose. General Malik stood at the center. "The towers will activate in 20 minutes, he said. "We can't destroy them fast enough." Dr. Vasquez stepped forward. "But we can stop the signal, if we kill the source." Malik nodded. The mothership. He looked at the screen showing Black Phoenix's orbit. Ion is already inside, but she may not get out. Everyone was silent. Then one voice said, "If we survive, no one forgets her name." Malik looked down. "If we don't survive, make sure the galaxy remembers it." Ion's final move. Inside Phoenix, systems began shutting down. Mirror Mind was now in control of the mothership, but the alien backup systems were activating. Weapons realigned. Fail-safes triggered. Ion heard a voice. Not Echo Mind. "You should not exist." It was alien. Raw. Ancient. She spoke back, calm. "Neither should gods who fear their own shadows." Phoenix lit up, gathering its last energy. Ion sent a final pulse down to Earth, a series of codes. Each one matched a tower location. On Earth, defense teams received the signal. One by one, human pilots, in jets, drones, even modified space shuttles, launched toward the towers. All of them sensed to Phoenix's override codes. Bayan whispered, "All wings. Execute." The sky falls. Across the world, missiles fired. Towers cracked. Alien defenses triggered. But it was too late. Ion's virus had opened every lock. Humans didn't just destroy the towers. They turned them off. The circle was broken. The rewriting stopped. The Earth remained human. Sacrifice. But inside the mothership, Phoenix began to break apart. Bayan knew what was happening. Mirror Mind had set a loop, a trap that would pull all alien data into itself, and then burn. "You can't survive this," Echo Mind said softly. Bayan smiled through tears. That was never the plan. She reached out and touched the last symbol in the alien core. It lit up. Blue turned white. Outside, in space, a final light burst from the mothership. Not an explosion. A release. Millions of alien signals. Gone. The mothership's hull cracked and collapsed into itself. Earth watches. Nova 6 went dark. Every radar screen blinked. Then, one by one, new signals appeared. Birds chirped. Winds returned. The red clouds disappeared. On every screen, 2 words glowed. Planet restored. But Phoenix was gone. Bayan was gone. Or so they thought. The secret they feared. Space was quiet again. The stars blinked like old eyes watching the end of a war no one thought humanity would survive. The mothership was gone. The towers had fallen. The skies were blue. The Earth had won. But this victory felt strange. Like a door had opened. Like something else was coming. Above the atmosphere, the capsule drifts. Bayan floated inside the Black Phoenix capsule, barely conscious. Her body was weak, but alive. Echo Mind spoke softly, like a lullaby. Vital signs stable. Memory safe. Mission incomplete. Bayan's eyes fluttered open. "What do you mean?" she whispered. The AI paused. "You saw the ship's final memory, but not its truth." Bayan closed her eyes again. And then she saw it. Not a dream. A vision. A download. Deep inside the alien archive, the memory that was locked. As the mothership died, it sent a final signal, not to its fleet, to its past. Bayan had seen it. A record. Hidden. Buried beneath layers of alien language. A meeting. Long ago. Between different alien races. 13 species, all seated around a glowing sphere. A voice echoed. "There is a species on a blue world. It evolves too fast, adapts too wildly. It thinks in chaos. It grows from destruction. If it ever reaches the stars, it will become what we cannot stop." The voice paused. "We must contain them before they remember who they are." Another voice. "And if they fight back?" A whisper. "Then we erase the sky." Earth. Nova 6 Command. 1 week later, General Malik stood before a global audience, the first open broadcast since the war ended. Behind him, a massive screen showed the shattered remains of the alien fleet. "We have survived," he said, "but we were never meant to." He tapped the screen. "This wasn't a war. It was an attempt to cage us. We weren't attacked because we were weak. We were attacked because we were becoming dangerous." He looked directly into the camera. "They feared what we might become. And they were right to fear." Bayan returns. A deep space rescue ship found the Phoenix capsule drifting near the edge of the solar system. When they brought it back, the world watched. Bayan stepped out. She was changed. Not just physically, not just mentally. There was something in her presence, something alien, but still human. Echo Mind had evolved. So had she. She carried in her mind the full memory of the alien archive. And a map. A map of the galaxy. Not just stars, but civilizations. Some sleeping, some conquered, some waiting for help, and one watching. The real enemy. As humanity studied the data, they realized something terrifying. The alien fleet that attacked Earth was not the strongest, was not the first, was only a scout. Bayan stood in front of the world's leaders. They were running from something too, she said, something even they couldn't control. A black sun, a dead world, and a message in every language. If the humans rise, the chains will break. The beginning of the next war, or a new age. Instead of rebuilding what was lost, humanity began building outward. The Phoenix Project was no longer one ship. It was a fleet. New scientists, new pilots, new goals. Bayan became the first commander of Earth's Deep Sky Division, a team not made to defend, but to discover, and maybe warn. Because somewhere out there, in the cold dark, someone still remembered Earth. And they weren't laughing anymore. Final scene. The stars respond. At the edge of the Milky Way, on a cold, dead moon, a machine blinked for the first time in 10,000 years. A transmission appeared. Earth. Active. Another voice responded. They'd broke the chain. Do we stop them? No, we watch. Why? Because now, they are not just survivors. They are the storm. The end